Good day and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reading Am I the Asshole posts and giving our take. So we're just going to dive right in because I'm feeling comfy cozy today. I got my sweater going on. I got my Christmas ambiance going on, and we're just going to chill. We're going to spend some time together and judge people. Let's do it. Am I the asshole for refusing to yield a seat when my family said that they were saving it for their son in the bathroom? I was flying with my mom for the holidays when we got to our gate. The gate was fairly crowded with only 2 available seats. We sit down and then this woman speaks up from next to us saying that she was saving that seat for her son who was in the bathroom. I didn't know this when I sat down. I decided not to give up the seat, saying that seats are for everyone and you can't really save them when the airport is as crowded as this. Am I the asshole here? And is it okay for people to save seats at a crowded airport? Edit. Everyone in this situation was an adult. The son of the mother was an adult who looked to be in their 20s and not a kid. When I sat down, I did not know anyone else was sitting there. Interesting. I don't think you're the asshole. Oh, guys, I always forget my gavel. I need my gavel. I watch a lot of Am I the Asshole content, and I realize that people don't say whether they're the asshole or not immediately. They usually like deliberate and then will say it. I'm the type of person who's like, you're the asshole. I think that if you're gonna save a seat, put your bag on it. I think she had every right to save a seat for her son. And I think that if someone was like, oh, my son's sitting there, I would have been like, oh, so sorry, and gotten up. That's me. I don't think that if it was an empty seat, that, like, there's no hard and fast rules. Like, if you want to sit down and there's no bag there and you didn't move anyone's anything, then that's your preference. Is it kind of asshole-ish? Yeah, it is kind of asshole-ish. But, I mean, traveling sucks in general. Anyways, like, waiting in a crowd, it's always crowded. There's people's bags everywhere. Like, if you need to sit down, sit down. If someone's saving a seat, they should put a bag on it. That's my take. That's my take. All right, we're just going to move right. So that, Judge Burke presiding, that guy was an asshole. But he was a justified asshole because airports suck. Am I the asshole for telling my parents it's not my job to provide for my siblings when they cannot? I, 20 female, wow, 20, that's young, and the oldest of 4 and do not live with my parents anymore. Our relationship is not good either. It's one of the biggest reasons is my parents flipped the script with my siblings when it came to gifts for Christmas and birthdays. My siblings are 16, 14, and 11. 4 kids is a lot. 11, 14, 16, and 20. So 4 years between me and their next kid. I know it's a bigger gap than say 2 years, but it's not huge either. True. Yet they parented them so differently and spoiled them. For me, gifts were needs and not wants, and I was told I should be appreciative of having food in my belly, a roof over my head, and clothes on my back. If I asked for something I wanted, they would tell me I didn't need it. I didn't need a doll. I didn't need art supplies. I didn't need a toy kitchen. They never, ever said that to my siblings. They would get dolls, action figures, bikes, trampolines, paint sets, jewelry kits, and all kinds of fun toys. They also got cell phones and tablets when they got older. I normally got clothes. Sometimes I would get cheap-ass basic hygiene products like body wash and stuff. My parents made it a point to nip it in the bud when I was upset with my underwhelming gifts, especially when my siblings came along. They told me they were babies, they were little, etc., but that energy was never there for me. I do resent it. Yeah, I had all the basics, but my siblings had so much more than that. My siblings are also very spoiled and entitled because of it. My sister, 16, used to bug me and get frustrated with me for not having nice stuff that she could borrow. Jeez Louise. She asked me once, what was the point in having a sister if she couldn't raid my closet? Ouch. I told her it wasn't my fault our parents didn't buy me nice shit like her. She laughed and told me that's what being the oldest means. That's rude. My brothers would tell me to buy them stuff when say they got pocket money, so I did too. I never got pocket money. When I explained that I didn't, it would end with them saying that I was a baby. I moved out of my parents' house and in with my aunts. I stayed with him for several months when I started college, and I now share an apartment with some friends. While we all attend college, I also work. My parents have fallen on hard times now, and right before Christmas, they told me that they didn't have money to get my siblings what they want for Christmas, and told me I needed to let them borrow money or buy the gifts on their behalf, and they would pay me back. I told them it's not my job to provide for my siblings when they cannot. They argued that my siblings would be disappointed to get nothing from their wish lists. I told them that they don't need nice gifts. They only need clothes and foods and a roof over their head, and they have all that. My parents say I'm a terrible big sister. Am I the asshole? Absolutely not. This is so typical. This happens all the time. And I think you see it most commonly in like kids and then grandkids. Like in our family, like we were middle class, lower middle class, and we were the same way. Like we got our basic needs met. I got to play soccer. We got like slightly more than our needs, but if it was like, I want this, I want this, it would be like, no. We had good Christmases, where we got great stuff, but there's definitely, I can see a difference in how my mother treats my grandkids than how we were treated, which fair, she's not the parent. Like my dad's now not the parent of the grandkids, but the grandkids get spoiled. We didn't get spoiled. So I definitely see that, but I do think it's extra like unfair, shitty if it happens within the family. Like 4 years isn't a lot at all. It's not a lot. My ex, he has 4 older brothers, and the age difference between him and his like next older brother is like 8 years. And the difference between how they grew up and they were treated versus how he was treated is exponential. And you can see it in like their work ethic. And like his brothers are like better workers. They're stronger. They like are more self-sufficient. Like he's kind of a baby. And I think that's so telling on how they got raised. So I think that this girl's not the asshole. I would definitely not give them money. I'd be like, no, I didn't get this as a kid. Like, why would you ask that of me when this is your opportunity to give them that lesson where it's like, you have everything we need. We don't have money this year to be spending on that. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks for sure. But also, I think it's a good lesson for them, and maybe that entitled behavior will be taken a chip out of it for sure, and I hope so. So, no, young lady, you are not the asshole. Also, she's 20. Asking a 20-year-old to give them money and then like making her feel bad saying she needed to let them borrow money or buy the gifts on their behalf. Yeah, and they said she's a terrible big sister. Not cool. Not cool. Not cool. Ooh, a wedding one. You know how much I love wedding ones. Am I the asshole for starting my wedding on time? My parents are late for everything. Oh, annoying. They were late for everything while I grew up, and they refused to care about being late. They do not care about how disrespectful it is to everyone else. I hate this. I hate it. My older siblings have adjusted to this by planning all kinds of slack into their schedules. Our parents showed up late to both of their weddings, but that had been accounted for, so they were able to participate in the weddings as planned. The same goes for family get-togethers that are hosted by anyone other than my parents. My siblings planned for them to be late. I went the other way. When my parents were late for my high school graduation, I told them that I would never wait for them for any event that I had power over ever again. And I have held to that. When my wife and I hosted our first Thanksgiving after we bought our home and started eating on time, my parents showed up late after visiting with other family members and were surprised to see us all lying around in tryptophan comas. Good use of the word, tryptophan. It's the like chemical that makes you sleepy after you eat turkey. Love it. It even looks like it's spelled right. My wife and I got married last weekend, and the ceremony went perfectly, other than my mother not being involved in the candle lighting. My older sister was the backup. My parents showed up 3/4 of the way through the ceremony and ended up sitting at the back of the church. They kept everything in during the receiving line and the formals, but they let me have it afterwards and before the reception. How dare them? I'll get to that. They were very disappointed that they did not get to participate in the ceremony and that they missed so much of it. I was ready for this. I had one of my friends waiting, and he took their pictures when they were entering the church and sitting down at the back, and he sent me the pictures as a text and as an email. I asked my parents to show me their invites. They didn't have it with them, so I pulled one out as I was ready for this. I showed them the time on the invitation. I asked them what time they showed up. They said they were only 5 minutes late and that I was an asshole for not waiting. I pulled up my text messages and my email. Both provided a timestamp of when they showed up, 35 minutes late. They said that if I knew they were going to be late, that I should have planned for it like my siblings. I told them that I had not put up with their bullshit since I graduated from high school and why they thought I would start now almost 15 years later. I told them that my siblings could coddle them all they wanted, but to enjoy their time with me, they had better learn to be punctual. They said I was disrespectful, and if I did not like their behavior, then that was entirely my problem. I agreed, and I said I would be handling all my time with them the exact way. Am I the asshole? No. The fact that the parents knew that they were going to be late and should have planned for it, number one, how dare you? That's so awful. I don't understand this. Like, I don't understand how people, like, get up earlier, get ready earlier, leave earlier. Like, it means you're not a priority. Like, this is your wedding. Like, you know, and also, like, if it's 35 minutes late, like I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. We're going to read comments because we haven't read any comments so far for some silly reason. Hard, not the asshole. If they want to be late for a play or a doctor's appointment or whatever, that's on them. If they were going to be on time for even one thing, you'd think it was their child's wedding. This is on them. Not the asshole. OP, you're brilliant. Well done. Happy wedding, happy marriage. I love that they had their friend ready to take pictures and send it text and email. Amazing. 35 minutes late. I would never. I would not wait. They're control freaks. They're trying to control everyone and everything with this behavior. Main character syndrome. Cheers to OP for refusing to bow to their tactics. And the fact... So sorry, it's quite late out. The fact that they brought it up at the wedding, like, you should be shameful and embarrassed and like, I'm so sorry. And they turned it around and got mad at the OP for them being late and they shouldn't have waited. I would just cut this person off. I would cut them off. I need to be careful. This is a very expensive computer. Yeah, absolute hard, not the asshole. Okay, let's do another wedding one. Am I the asshole for kicking my friend out of my wedding after she manipulated me into letting her wear a pantsuit? How did you do that? Let's find out. I, 28 female, am getting married next spring. My friends Ashley, Sandra, and Kate, all 28 female also, are my bridesmaids. Last summer, I got them together over drinks and made cute bridesmaid proposal gifts. And they all happily agreed to stand with us on our big day. Ashley was my neighbor growing up, and I went to college with Sandra and Kate. Needless to say, we are all very close and can tell each other anything. Now, Kate has always hated long skirts and dresses. She'll wear them occasionally for events, but she feels her legs are her best feature and often goes for skinny jeans if she's very into her appearance, but not in a vain way. I think it actually comes from insecurity and being bullied in middle school. We're having a church wedding, so I picked bridesmaids' dresses that are long and have cap sleeves. About 2 weeks ago, Kate called me and said she couldn't be a bridesmaid anymore. I asked her why, and she said she actually realized she was a trans man and didn't want to present as a woman at the wedding. I told her that she was totally fine and I'd still love to have her as a bridesman in a color-coordinated suit. She cried and thanked me. I asked if she wanted me to use a different name and her pronouns, but she said no. She asked me to keep it quiet as she won't come out till after the holidays. Well, just yesterday I got a call from my cousin Missy, who is my maid of honor. She was in a weight loss group with Kate, and apparently, but she never put two and two together that Kate was Kate Lemon's bestie from college. 2 days ago, the group had a meeting and got on topic of body image. People were talking about how to navigate situations that bring up body image issues. Kate shared that she feels like she looks like a 600-pound Life cast member in a dress, and she even tricked her best friend into letting her wear a pantsuit in the wedding. Kate mentioned something about the reception venue. It's very unique, and Missy got suspicious and put the pieces together. I haven't confronted Kate yet, but I'm absolutely fuming. I think I want to kick her out of the wedding. But I was talking the situation over with my sister yesterday, and she said Kate might really be doubting her gender, and I should be supportive. The thing is, Kate could have just told me she'd feel too body conscious in a dress, and I would have let her wear a pantsuit, no problem, but she didn't need to manipulate me. It's the lying that hurts me and makes me want to kick Kate to the curb. Am I the asshole if I removed Kate from my wedding? This is an interesting one. I think if you agree to be in someone's wedding party, you give up any opinion on what you're wearing. I think there's so many issues about bridesmaids, maids of honor, not liking what they're wearing for the wedding. It's not your wedding, it's someone else's wedding. Like, I understand feeling uncomfortable in things. I do. Like, my weight fluctuates a lot, and I have to wear things sometimes that, like, if I'm heavier than I usually am, like, I feel uncomfortable with. But I think of it like this, like, at my job, I have 2 jobs. I'm an actress and I'm a server. At my serving job, I wear a uniform. I wear a white long sleeve shirt, a vest, a tie, a skirt, and an apron. I'm pretty uncomfortable in that. I don't want to wear a white shirt up to here with a tie, with a vest, and like a apron, and it like sucks me in, and if I don't like wearing it. It's not comfortable. I wouldn't choose to wear it, but it's my uniform. In acting, I have to wear a costume. You know, I have gotten roles where I'm sexy, or I have to wear lingerie, or I don't want to wear lingerie. I don't want to like be conscious of my tummy or this or that, but it's a costume. That's my choice. So if you choose to have this job at a restaurant, you have to wear the uniform. If you choose to be an actor, you have to wear the costume. If you choose to be a bridesmaid, you can say no, then you have to wear the uniform. You know, like I think that that's just it, and people shouldn't be like, I don't want to wear this isn't my color, I feel uncomfortable, yada yada yada. Suck it up, do it, or don't be in the wedding. And I think the added layer is like a manipulation, because the whole like gender ideology, trans issue stuff like is super sensitive, that the minute someone says something about it, people are like, oh yeah, okay, sure, yeah, no, do you want me to call you something different? You know, I think that if Kate really feels like a man, the like weight loss group would probably hear about that. She would change her name, there would be other things. I do feel like that is manipulation. I don't feel like she actually feels that way. If she does, whatever, cool. Then I think, then cool, yeah, then wear pants to the wedding. Like, great. But my gut tells me that's not the actual issue here. If I had a friend that lied to me that immensely about it, I would be so choked. I would be so upset about it. I probably wouldn't be friends anymore. That's a huge lie. If it's not a lie, then don't let her be her trans man self at your wedding. If it is a lie, kick her out of the wedding party. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Everyone sucks here. Look, if Kate is trans, there's no way they would be telling Missy in the exercise group at this juncture. This could be a cover story and you wouldn't know. Or Kate could be lying to you, but in that case, what you're still hearing is that Kate has enough body issues and dysmorphia around their body parts that Kate's willing to concoct elaborate lies. Kate still has big problems here. If you care about Kate as a friend, realize that Kate has problems regardless of the real story, and that in either case, letting Kate wear a suit is about Kate trying to deal with some of the dysmorphia and major body image issues. Is it actually a problem in that context? Like, the lie is absolutely a problem if Kate lies, but is the suit a problem? Yeah, I mean, if I had a friend that was like, hey, if I was in a wedding and I had a friend that was like, hey, I really don't want to wear this dress at a wedding, can I wear a suit in the same color? I'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't care, but other people do care, which is why I say, if you're gonna say yes to be a part of the wedding party, go along with it. You know, like, sometimes even if you have issues, sometimes you have to put your issues aside for your love of someone else. Like, the amount of selfishness that goes around in the world where it's like, but I feel like this, but I feel like this, but I feel like this. It's like, I understand you feel like this, but sometimes to show your love for other people, you put your feelings aside and you do something you're slightly uncomfortable with for that person. I really think people being like, I'll never do anything, I'm uncomfortable for anyone else, is unrealistic and not kind to that person that you love. You know, like, Ian does stuff he doesn't want to do for me because he loves me. I do things I don't want to do for him because I love him. Like, that's love, you know, that's just what you do. And I think that the world has gotten very selfish. I don't want to read these comments. It's like moving into trans issues. This is interesting. This is a holiday one, and we're coming up on the holidays, so shall we? Am I the asshole for telling my husband that we won't host another holiday until he helps prepare the house for guests? My husband and I used to host Thanksgiving every year, but when I was in nursing school, we fell out of the tradition as I did not have the bandwidth available. Totally understandable. Neither of us is great at keeping house, so it is never company ready. This year we were considering having our families over for Thanksgiving, but hadn't decided for sure. Then he told me that his biological mom and sister, who he just found out about over a year ago, and I've never met in person, are coming. So, okay, I guess we're hosting Thanksgiving. They later canceled, unfortunately. I told him that we had a lot of work to do to get the house ready, and he agreed. So about 2 weeks ago, I was getting more stressed. I was trying to get some things done between working 12-hour shifts, and I knew I had planned a long stretch of days off to get things done. But my husband really hasn't done anything. I brought it up, and he told me to make him a list, so I did. He has done one task on the list and several things that don't need to be done before Thanksgiving. That is a typical thing for him. He will do other things like several loads of laundry, that he can play video games between loads so that I can't complain about him not doing what I asked. So now I have planned the meal, shopped for the meal, will be preparing the meal, and have done 85% of the cleaning. I reached my breaking point and I told him this is the last time I'm doing this if he can't do his part to get or keep our house ready for the visitors. Am I the asshole? No. I do think that men have a hard time caring or mentally getting ahead of what needs to be done for guests. I've noticed in my life with my many different partners, that makes me sound slutty, with my serious partners that I've lived with, almost every single one of them was not a good housekeeper, didn't see dirt, cleanliness, chores in the way that I saw it, didn't care to live in dust, didn't care to have garbage around them as I do. I've known that I, along with my mom, my sister, not my sister, my friend, my other friend, feel a little bit more anxious when it's dirty, like dust matters more, having dishes around matters more. Like, I think that men in general just are not hardwired that way. I do. Like, biologically, men and women are different, and in my history, in my experience, men don't give a fuck. I'm good at making lists, and I've found that that works for most men to make lists, and Ian's good. If I make lists, he'll get stuff done. But I've had to make lists. And I know that when I clean the bathroom and when I ask Ian to clean the bathroom, it's going to be different levels of cleanliness. So I've just had to kind of back off and be like, Ian's good at doing Ian things. He built our TV. He moved our old TV to the bedroom and put it up. You know, we went to my sister-in-law's house the other day and he put up her mount. He'll do everything with the car. He will make, plans outside. Like he's good with tasks that I don't want to do. It's like, oh, we have to go change the tires, from the spring tires to the winter tires, and he's good with that kind of stuff. So I find and he's good with laundry and he's good with dishes, and I hate doing dishes. So he does all the dishes. And then he'll do all the laundry and I'll put it away and I'll do like the bathroom and I'll clean the house and I'll, you know, like I always put the Christmas stuff up and he always, what can I do? What can I do? So I do think that there is automatically like a huge gap between what women, their bandwidth, that what they can do and what men can do. That being said, this guy is below that. He is not helping as much as he should be helping. He is being, what's that word that people say? Like incompetent, like when he weaponized incompetence, where he's like, well, I'm doing laundry, you know, when he's he's like, I want to play a video game, but I can do laundry because that's easy, but then he probably won't put away the laundry, but he doesn't go get the food. I think that this requires therapy, because you nagging and you constantly being like, you're not helping, isn't going to help any. It's not going to change who he is. A lot of times people need someone outside of the relationship to be like, dude, hello, like, you need to contribute to this household. So, not the asshole. Let's see what people have to say. I know this was not the asshole. I know this will sound terrible, but don't do anything. If he has time for video games and is the person who wants to host people, he needs to take the lead. You've been direct with him. You're kinder than most, because I feel like a lot of people would have taken a passive-aggressive approach to things first. His preferred roles as host are entirely front of house, spent time with guests rather than mucking with cooking and cleaning. I always say my husband is a guest in his own house when we have people over. That's true. I think a lot of husbands are like that, unless it's like barbecuing, to be a guest in your own house. Like, I cook most of the meals when I enjoy it though. So, I mean, like, I want to have a big turkey dinner and Ian will be like, do you need anything? Do you need anything? What can I do to help? But he doesn't want to do it. He's doing it because I love him. So someone else says, yep, tell him it's his job this year. Tell his family members that he's doing it and redirect all inquiries to anyone on the topic to him. Tell him you'll do the laundry, but all the holiday stuff is on him. I think that's great. I think that I forgot that, like, he wanted to do this, so let him do it. Just let him do it. If he fails, he fails. You order pizza. Like, what the fuck ever. Like, people need to learn lessons, you know? All right, let's move on. Alrighty, would I be the asshole if I, female, 27, let my partner, male, 32, instead of my mother, female, 54, inherit my half of the house if I die? Interesting. Let's see. My partner and I are currently in the process of purchasing a home. UK inheritance law states that if an unmarried person dies without children, then their estate goes to their parents. Common law marriage is not recognized. We're having a floating deed of trust, but I mentioned to my mother that I also plan on writing a will so that my partner will be able to inherit my part of the house if I die. She completely lost it and said that she deserves to inherit it because she raised me, and it's not fair if he gets to keep it all. It's his house. I asked her how would she get her share if the money is all tied up in the house, and she said that she would force a sale so that she can cash out, which would make my partner homeless. All they want is for him to be able to stay in the house if I die. Another argument she made was that his mother would make me sell the house if I pay her off if he died before me, which I know wouldn't happen because his family has always kept hold of whatever buildings they inherit and allowed other family members to live in them for free. The aunt that still lives in his grandparents' house, even though the house was supposed to be sold and divided between the 8 children when they died. She later changed her mind and said she wouldn't make him sell the house. She would just make him pay her whatever I've put into the house in cash. I'm putting £90,000 and he's putting £50,000. That's a lot of money to put down. There's no way he'd be able to pay her off in cash without selling the house. She then said that he's going to kill me. She then said that he's going to kill me to get the whole house. What? Is that a serious accusation? She says she deserves to inherit my estate if I die because she brought me up and fed me when I was a baby. And she paid for all my extracurricular activities when I was growing up, and it's not fair if I leave everything to someone else. She says I'm not taking into consideration my parents' struggle, but they own 2 properties totaling over $1 million in assets. This mother. My partner and I currently live with my parents and pay rent. Everything for the house is coming out of our own savings. Neither of our families are contributing. My parents need to find £70,000 within the next 2 years as they plan on paying for my brother to attend flight school. Their current plan is to sell one of their properties to pay for this, but it would be very convenient if I died before and left them everything. What? The way I see it, if we break up, then the deed of trust will protect me financially, but if I die, then it won't matter to me who gets to spend my money. But I want my partner to be able to stay in the house. If I allow my mother to inherit it, she'll likely force my partner to sell his home. To her, I'm basically leaving $90,000 to someone I've known for a few years versus her I've known for my whole life. ETA. I think she means edit. My family's from Asia, and one of the laws in our home country is that if a child dies before their parents, then their parents are entitled to a share of the estate as well as their spouse and children. This is fucked up. This is so fucked up. This is so fucked up that I probably wouldn't have a relationship with my mother after this. I would be like, parents that like tell their children that they owe them for being a parent to them, like, I'll never understand that. Like, you chose to have me. You chose to have me, and part of being a parent is feeding me and clothing me and doing all that stuff, and then to hold that against me in later years, that is a bad person. 100%, that is a bad person. Like, I raised you. Yeah, because you're my parent and that's what you're supposed to do. And if you didn't want to do that, then maybe you shouldn't have had children. And the fact that, like, the way this woman says it would be very convenient if I died, that makes it sound like she thinks her mom would even think about killing her. That's what it sounds like. Like, that's scary. I would 100% leave it to my partner. It is his home. It's not your mom's home. You're the child. Like, it's not your job to take care of your parents. It's not. Like, it's nice if they get really old and, you know, you can afford to put them into a home or take them into your house or whatever. That's nice. But it's not expected. It's not like you owe them, so you have to do that. Like, this is so mind-boggling to me that she would force a sale so that she can cash out, which would make her partner homeless. Like, this is you and your, first of all, Ian is like my husband. Like, he just is. Like, we've known each other for 3 years, but I would 100%, if I bought a house with Ian, if anything happened to me, it's his home. Your mother had nothing to do with it. She didn't put any money into it. Like, it's his home. This boggles my mind that she would do that. She's putting £90,000 into it. That's so much money. And they own 2 properties totaling over $1 million in assets. Why are they paying for their brother to go to flight school? Like, that's really nice, but like £70,000 for flight school? Dude, take out a student loan. Like, if they can't afford it, not the asshole. I deserve it because I raised you is losing an argument from mom. Dude, you're the one who chose to bring me into this world. Exactly. But also, why even bring up your estate plans with your mom? And I hope you're doing all right health-wise, because it's odd that you're planning for her to outlive you. Ultimately, it's your will, but just make it private. Don't tell her what you decided. If she ever finds out, you'll be dead anyways. Wow. It's strange anyhow. A parent's plan isn't to outlive their kids. Why is this even an issue? The kids and wife need that house. Do they need to move out so the mom can sell? This is crazy. It stood out that the mom thinks that OP's partner would murder her so that they can have the whole house, even though that would change nothing about their living situation, but would have the negatives of them not being with their partner or having to either hide a murder or be found guilty of murder. Yeah, this is effed. Someone else wrote, yeah, it's strange but not that uncommon. My father thinks he's owed something for having kids. When I was in my 20s, he asked me if I knew how much more time and money he would have if he never had kids. So yeah, some people go into parenthood with a completely different perspective. Like, why would you have children if you're just going to be like, I raised you? Yeah, you did, because you wanted me. You wanted a child. Like, this woman is absolutely not the asshole, and she should not give her mother part of her place, part of her house. All right, this is an interesting one. This is Thanksgiving. So we had Thanksgiving in October in Canada, and they just had Thanksgiving in the States, I think, last week. So am I the asshole for watching football at an early Thanksgiving dinner? My 34 male wife, 33 female, had family over this past Sunday for an early Thanksgiving, since a few of us will be out of town this Thursday. I want to start by saying I'm a diehard football fan, and I'm very invested in my fantasy football team as well. So when my wife decided to host Thanksgiving at our place at 1 on a Sunday, I was a little upset that I would miss some games, but I figured I could still get around to watching them. For most of the afternoon, I was able to watch the games, but sitting down for dinner was going to be a struggle. I figured I would be doing the right thing by joining them, but opted to also have an AirPod in and had my phone under the table so that I could still watch when needed. During grace, my religious mother-in-law was giving an incredibly long prayer, and the battery on my headphones died, causing the sound to come through my phone. I didn't have the volume cranked up, but it still disrupted the prayer. I apologized and said that I would turn the game down. My wife insisted that I wait to watch the games later, but I needed to know if any of my players were going to score any touchdowns. It has been 3 days, and my wife is still beyond pissed for embarrassing her. My mother-in-law isn't talking to me right now, and everyone thinks what I did was wrong. Am I the asshole for trying to sneak the game even with the volume muted? Yes. Yes, you are. You are the asshole. I understand when people have passions. Obviously, I have a passion, but that passion shouldn't take over all of your life. Thanksgiving is such a lovely, warm, important thing, especially in the States. You know, like, I love putting on a Thanksgiving dinner. I did this year. I love it. I think that it creates family memories for years to come. And obviously your wife put in a lot of work. Sounds like you didn't help her cook the dinner. Sounds like you did nothing but watch games before the dinner. And then even when the dinner happens, you have your phone underneath the table and you're listening to it. Like, that's so disrespectful. Like, I understand you have a fantasy football league or whatever, but like, eating takes 20 minutes. Like, eating the dinner, like cooking the dinner takes all day, 4, 5, 6 hours. Actually sitting down and eating the meal takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, you can take 20 or 30 minutes off. And if you can't, dude, go to fucking rehab for football, because like, that's sick. Honestly, like, I highly think it's great to have your passions. I remember, I've never been like a watching sports person. I love playing sports, but I've never been a watching sports person. And I dated this guy who loved the Steelers, and I really got into learning football. I loved learning football. I became a Steelers fan, and I find when you like get a new passion or enjoyment or something, like, it just grows your heart, like the Grinch, right? You have more to love. It's like board games with Ian. It's like, I didn't know that I liked board games before I met Ian, but now I have more to love. And like, we spend so much time with friends playing board games, and it's just like something that I love that I never thought that I would. But that doesn't mean that takes over all of the other time. Like, that's so rude. So rude. You are the asshole. Let's see what people think. I'm a diehard football fan. Are you not a fan of your family and being with them at big annual events? You're the asshole. You're the asshole. Every time this scenario was posted, they're always the asshole. Also, I needed to know if any of my players were going to score a touchdown. That's not a need, that's a want, and it's ridiculous. The touchdowns will or won't happen regardless if you're watching or not. You're the asshole for acting like a child at the table. Yeah, unfortunately, there are sports fans like this, one being my brother-in-law, who once screamed at the top of his lungs, "Yeah, baby," when a funeral was happening just down the street. He also becomes an absent father and partner when football season's in. There are sports fans, there are diehards, and then there's brainless monkeys. You're the asshole, OP. Wow. You disturbed family Thanksgiving dinner, valuing a literal game over family quality time. Who else would be the asshole here? You're the asshole. Someone else wrote, I'm a diehard football fan, and I'm very invested in my fantasy team as well. Lots of us are, but we realize that things like families supersede our hobbies, and most of us can go one Sunday without watching all of the action in real time. But I needed to know if any of my players were going to score touchdowns. Why? Does your league give extra points for touchdowns you see live? No. Wanted. The word you're looking for is not needed, it's wanted. And the fact that you clearly, habitually put your wants ahead of your family makes it a pretty easy to answer the question. It's assholes like you that give the rest of us a bad name. Totally. Totally. What a jerk. What a jerk. Okay, we're going to do one more because I've been doing this for 45 minutes. Even though I love doing this. I don't know why. I should do this more often. It's pretty easy. Ooh, another wedding one. Okay. Am I the asshole for not wanting my stepsister at my wedding? Using a throwaway account may be worth mentioning that English is not my first language, so sorry if it is a bit hard to read at times. So I, 22 female, am going to get married to my fiance in February. We had our first date. We had our first date on Valentine's Day when we were 15. He proposed on Valentine's Day when we were both 20, so we thought it was a cute idea to have our wedding on that day. As I mentioned, we have been together for almost 8 years. Bit of a backstory on our relationship there. Now onto my stepsister. So my dad cheated on my mom from what my understanding was when I was 12 to when I was 15. This got out the summer when I was 15, and my mom and my dad broke up. He moved in with his affair partner who had a daughter the same age as me. I've never liked my stepmom, mostly because she knew about my parents' relationship, and I have not liked my dad since either. However, I've tried to be nice to them all, including his daughter, and she has never been nice to me. For some examples, when my fiance and I had been dating for almost 6 months, she began messaging him, sending pictures of herself in her underwear. Blech. Tried to get him to think I was cheating on him. What is wrong with people? 2, when I broke my leg when I was 17, she stopped my father from visiting me in the hospital because it was her birthday week and he should not put me before such special times for her. Like his daughter going to the hospital? Number 3, she has talked extremely bad about my mom using slurs, my mom's half black, and telling me that her mom was the obvious choice. What a bitch. So when we sent out our invites, me and my fiance decided not to include her, obviously. This set my dad off as he still thinks that that things should have been left in the past a long time ago. He thinks I'm being petty and still resenting her for just being a normal teenager. Using racial slurs and sending practically naked pictures to your sister's boyfriend is not being a normal teenager. We had a big argument where he told me that if she can't come, he and his wife wouldn't either. She also sent me a long text telling me that she was extremely sorry for how she behaved when we were younger, that she's been in therapy and has tried to become a better person ever since, and that she would love to see her only sister get married. After this text, I was starting to regret my decision. We've not seen each other for almost 2 years as she moved, but maybe she is right, and this is a great opportunity to get to know her better. I feel like I'm an asshole for not inviting her because then I'm subconsciously thinking that people can never change and become better. Also, she did all of this stuff many years ago, and I still punish her for it many years later. So, am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole, but I think that if you're having feelings of like, maybe I should invite her, then maybe you should listen to that. I think that people do change. People do nothing but change. I mean, I'm 11 years sober. Imagine if I still drank, but I don't because I'm 11 years sober. I'm a different person now than I used to be back there. So if no one forgave me for the stupid drunken things I did, then I would have no friends and family left. So maybe this, it's good that she, said that she was in therapy and she's trying to be a better person and, she'd love to be there. So, I mean, if you don't want to invite her, don't invite her. But know that it's not going to help your relationship in the future. And you are 22 female. That's still so young. I didn't even become sober until I was 25. And so if you're going to forgive and forget eventually, now's a better time than ever, Now's, what's that saying? Now's as good of a time as any. But I do think that your dad is being a little bit of an asshole. Like, if you don't invite her, we're not coming. That's rude. That's rude. That's rude. Let's see what people have to say. Not the asshole. You say she acted this way many years ago, and now she's saying she changed. But in the time since then, she's made any effort to amend her behavior. In the context of your post, she would indicate the answer is no. That the only reason she's now reaching out to you is because she's being compelled to. If she couldn't put in the effort to apologize before being reminded that you exist, then fuck her. Hey, I guess that's true. Hey, like, she didn't apologize before. Well, sometimes it's hard to reach out and apologize. I'm pretty good at it, but in general, a lot of people find it hard. We're gonna end it there. Thank you so very much for spending all of this time nice and comfy cozy with me. I hope you had a good time. Like and subscribe, and till next time, don't be an asshole.